You've probably heard that your body completely replaces itself every 7 years. That's almost true. The almost is what should scare you. Because here's what they never tell you when they share that fact at parties. Some of your cells replace themselves every 5 days. Some take 15 years. And some, the ones sitting inside your skull right now, the ones that hold every memory you have, every version of yourself you've ever been, those have never been replaced. Not once. They were there when you were born, and they will be there when you die. Which means there's a version of you, a physical, biological, measurable part of you that is as old as you are, that has experienced everything you've experienced, that can never be renewed, regenerated, or replaced. And that raises a question that sounds like philosophy, but is actually neuroscience. If almost everything in your body gets replaced, but not all of it, then what exactly is the you that's been here the whole time? So where did this 7 years thing come from? It didn't come from nowhere. It came from a real scientist doing real science, and got completely mangled on the way to the internet. In 2005, a stem cell biologist named Jonas Friesen at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm published a paper in the journal Cell. He'd done something remarkable. He figured out how to date the age of individual human cells using radioactive carbon left over in the atmosphere from Cold War nuclear weapons testing. Actual nuclear bomb fallout, used to carbon date living human tissue, like archaeology, but the artifact is you. What Friesen found was that the average age of all cells in the human body is somewhere between 7 and 10 years, which is true and accurate and scientifically valid. The problem is what people heard when they read that. They heard, every cell in your body is replaced every 7 years. That's not what it says. Average age is not the same as replacement schedule, not even close. Here's why. If 9 people in a room are 30 years old and 1 person is 90, the average age in the room is 36. That number tells you almost nothing about when everyone got there. Same problem. The average masks everything interesting underneath it. So what does the actual data say, tissue by tissue? Because this is where it gets genuinely strange. Let's start at the fastest end. The cells lining your gut, the epithelial cells that touch everything you eat, that process every meal, that are basically on the front line of your entire digestive system. They live for 5 days. 5. By the time you've had your morning coffee every day this week, some of those cells are already dead and gone, replaced by new ones. Your skin is slightly slower, somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks. The outermost layer of your skin right now has probably already started its goodbye. In a month, it'll be completely gone. The skin touching this video isn't the skin that started watching it. Red blood cells, the ones carrying oxygen around your body right now, live about 120 days. For months, your blood is on a constant cycle of death and replacement. Right now, roughly 2.4 million red blood cells are dying inside you per second, and 2.4 million new ones are being made to replace them every second. Your liver, which processes every drug, every drink, every toxin you expose it to, has cells that last somewhere between 300 and 500 days. Not 7 years. Not even close to 7 years. Just under a year and a half at most. Skeletal muscle cells, the ones doing the physical work of your body, they're slower. About 15 years average. So those aren't new. Those have been with you for a while. But even those get replaced eventually. Eventually. And then there's your heart. Cardiac muscle cells, the ones that have been beating since before you were born, replace themselves at about 1% per year when you're young, slowing to 0.5% by the time you're 70. Do the math. That means the majority of your heart cells have been there since birth. The muscle that's kept you alive for every year of your life is mostly original equipment. So this 7 years thing was already falling apart. But here's where it completely collapses, and where it gets genuinely unsettling. The neurons in your cerebral cortex, the outer layer of your brain, responsible for thought, perception, memory, and consciousness, have never been replaced. Friesen's team confirmed it directly. They looked at tissue from the visual cortex of people born before and after nuclear weapons testing and found the same radiocarbon signature. These cells formed before or at birth, and they haven't changed since. No new neurons in the cerebral cortex. Not in infancy, not in childhood, not in adulthood, not ever. The neurons in your cortex were formed while you were still in the womb or right around birth. They have been there for every single thing that has ever happened to you. Your first memory, your worst day, every person you've ever loved, every version of yourself you've ever been. Every one of those experiences happened inside cells that are as old as you are and have never once been refreshed. There are a couple of exceptions worth knowing. The hippocampus, the brain region most central to forming new memories, does add about 700 new neurons per day in adults, about 1.75% of its total per year. Friesen confirmed that in a 2013 follow-up paper. So the memory-forming region of your brain is doing some renewal. But the cerebral cortex, the thinking, perceiving, experiencing part, is not. The lights in that room have been on since the beginning. Oh, and your eye lenses. The cells in the lens of your eye are also original. They formed in the womb, and they stay there forever. Which means the very tools you're using to watch this video right now are ancient, in biological terms. Your eyes are literally as old as you are. So here's the question. Most of your body's atoms have been swapped out over the years. But the neurons that contain your memories, your sense of self, your personality, those haven't. So which part of you is actually you? There's a philosophical thought experiment called the Ship of Theseus. The ancient Greeks asked, if you replace every single plank in a ship, one by one, until no original wood remains, is it still the same ship? Most people's first instinct is yes. But then someone asks, what if you took the old planks as they were removed and built a new ship out of them? Which one is the original now? The rebuilt one, made of original material? Or the continuous one, that was always the ship, but is made of completely different wood? Your body is living this experiment right now. Most of your atoms have been replaced multiple times over. Your body has done it without you noticing, without any break in consciousness, without you ever feeling like a different person. But the neurons encoding who you are, those are original wood. Those planks were never replaced. Here's where the neuroscience and the philosophy converge. Your brain doesn't store memories the way a hard drive stores files, as static data written to a fixed location. Memories are stored as patterns, specifically as the pattern of connections between neurons, which ones connect to which, how strongly, in what sequence. That pattern is what makes you remember your first day of school, or the sound of someone's voice, or the way a place smelled. The pattern is the memory. The neurons are just the hardware running it. And here's the thing about the neurons that hold those patterns. They've been there your whole life. But the molecules inside them, the proteins, the lipids, the components, those do get replaced over time, even while the cell lives. So even your oldest, most permanent cells are not made of the same stuff they started with. The hardware changes. The pattern persists. So here's the reframe, and I think it's actually a useful one. You are not your matter. You are your pattern. The particular arrangement of connections, the specific shape of who you are, the things you're afraid of, the things you love, the memories you carry, that pattern is what makes you continuous across time. Not the atoms. The atoms are just borrowed. They were part of something else before you existed, and they'll be part of something else after. The philosopher Derek Parfit spent most of his career on this question. He argued that personal identity, the sense that you're the same person who woke up yesterday, is less about continuity of matter and more about continuity of psychological connection. Your memories, your intentions, your beliefs, your relationships. The thread that connects you to your past self isn't physical. It's informational. And here's why I think that's actually freeing rather than terrifying. If you are your pattern, not your matter, then you are remarkably resilient. You've survived the replacement of nearly every atom in your body, multiple times over, without ever ceasing to be you. That's not fragile. That's almost indestructible. Whatever you is, it's not easily destroyed by biological turnover. It persists through it. The cells in your gut that died this week, they were you. They did their job and left. The red blood cells that are dying right now at 2.4 million per second, also you, doing exactly what they should. And the neurons in your cortex, the ones that have never been replaced, the ones holding every memory you have, those aren't holding you hostage to your past. They're the infrastructure of everything you've been able to become. They're not old. They're experienced. I said at the beginning that they almost in your body almost completely replaces itself should scare you. I don't think that's quite right anymore. I think that almost is actually the most interesting part. The stuff that doesn't replace, the neurons, the lens cells, The heart cells that have been beating since before you were born, that's not a flaw in the system. That's the anchor. That's what keeps the pattern continuous while everything else cycles through. You are not the ship. You are not the planks. You're the shape the ship has been sailing in this whole time. There's a video on this channel about how your brain is generating your reality, not receiving it. And it connects to this in a way that surprised me when I made it. Because if you are your pattern, and your brain is generating the world around that pattern, what exactly is doing the experiencing? I'll put it right there. I'll see you in it.